Hey everyone, One Big Boss here. As you can tell by the title of the video that you clicked on, we're talking Capcom, but more specifically, we're talking about the bundle that is coming out very soon. And is this the future to get people interested in older Capcom games? Honestly, if you've been following what's been going on for a while, Capcom has announced that Street Fighter 6 is in development, and with Street Fighter 6 as well, we are also getting a very big surprise, the Capcom Fighting Collection, which consists of 5 Darkstalkers games, some which are not as fun as others, but I kind of enjoy that they're throwing the lesser popular ones in there. And they're also throwing in a bunch of other games that have actually not been seen in quite some time. This is actually a big deal for those of you who don't know, because a long time ago, a game called Darkstalkers Resurrection was released, and it sold like crap. Nobody enjoyed this game back in the day in terms of wanting it. I played it. My buddy was the one who told me to buy it, and I did, and I do enjoy Darkstalkers, and I liked it. I liked the fact that I was able to play these games with a buddy of mine across the country. It was fantastic. We had a lot of great matches together, and yeah, people just didn't buy it. And then we were told that this didn't have an impact on a new Darkstalkers game getting made, but in actuality it did. It actually was true. So we haven't gotten a new Darkstalkers game because Resurrection sold like crap. And people have to understand, Capcom is not the same company they were a decade ago when Resurrection was released. They clearly want to do things differently, and one of the ways that they can do this, and they have been, is by the changing of leadership and how things are run in their fighting game division. If you've been a Capcom fighting fan for the last decade, or you know anything about fighting games or any of what has happened to Capcom in those 10 years, you know that a lot of fighting games that came out in that time period were not the best. Some of them were fun, but they also had a lot of problems and a lot of controversy that surrounded many of them, and it caused a lot of sales for Capcom fighters to tank. And yeah, in Street Fighter 5, it might be somewhat considered a success now, but that thing was launched pretty abysmally, and you didn't feel like you got a $60 game with that game at all. But now, times have changed. Hands and leadership have changed, as they do in any company, and the guys who handled Street Fighter 5, especially that final season, with Dan, Rose, Oro, Akira, and Luke, that was huge. That was proof right there for me, and a lot of other Capcom naysayers, that damn, these guys give a shit. These guys want to get things done. They want that. They love it. And if you've been on Twitter, a lot of people have been going into like the Capcom archives, and they've been bringing back a lot of old Street Fighter work. They're throwing out there on Twitter, like the artists are showing like what they drew years ago, and it's absolutely insane. So there is change, and we do know that at this point the success of this is if the Capcom Fighting Bundle sells well. And if it does, it begs the question, what else can these bundles do? What would this give us in the future? And the answer is simple. More bundles. Maybe newer entries. But you gotta look at it like this. Companies might not be willing to bring older games back because they're a little worried about how they might handle. They've worried about sales from the past, and let's face it, sometimes when an old IP comes back, it might be hard to push because, you know, you might not advertise it the right way, it might come out half-assed, it might be a different company working on it that doesn't understand the core values of what makes this game special. But with these bundles that have come out, because we've gotten the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, which was pretty solid. I think the online didn't work that well on there, unfortunately, which was because I never played anybody online with it. I just played with my friends itself, like, you know, on the dock and for the Switch and such. But the fact that it was good and it gave us a lot of great classic games makes you think, wow, they could be doing this with other ones and we could get more. I mean, I for one would hope that maybe Captain Commando gets another beat 'em up, because Capcom knows beat 'em ups. And with the success of things like River City Girls and Streets of Rage 4, The Takeover, a lot of beat 'em ups are coming back, and even new beat 'em ups are being made. So Capcom, you've got a great franchise. You've got Final Fight. Capcom, have me write the story for Cody for Final Fight, okay? We'll continue it off of Street Fighter 5. He's the mayor. Like, I will create new characters for it. Like, just give me the chance, Capcom. I would love to work for you guys. But I really do love that they put all those beat 'em ups and games that people didn't even know existed that Capcom even did. Because again, some of those games haven't seen light of day on the arcades, outside the arcades and maybe some consoles. But that's what we have to look at with Darkstalkers Resurrection. Now, people have been asking me, it's like, what, should I go and pre-order this now? Should I do it if it's up for pre-order? And I was like, well, if you want to take that chance, and given the way that the company looks right now and how I want to roll the die, I would say, yeah, sure, go pre-order it if you want. But if you want to wait for guys like me or my buddy Mikel Casanova or other big fighting guys out there like Justin Wong, Maximilian, and virtually anybody else that covers fighting games on YouTube that you really trust that aren't in Capcom's pocket and they want this as much as we do, then you don't have to buy the game day one. You can go buy it 3 days after their review comes out, or my review, or whatever the case is, and you can form your own opinion if you like what you see from us. And I'm really hoping that people will buy this, because if this happens and it works and we get another Darkstalkers, could you imagine a Breath of Fire collection? You know me, ladies and gentlemen. You know me. You know that I love Breath of Fire, and I would love this collection for Breath of Fire 1, 2, 3, and 4 if possible. Or, hell, even if it's just, like, 3 and 4, because if you have a Switch, you can actually get Breath of Fire 1 and 2 on there, which is fantastic. First one's a bit rough, but it's still a good game, and 2 is pretty good too, but 3 and 4 for me are just the best of the best. But again, if they did that, what happens if they decided to make, I don't know, let's just say a Capcom Fighting Collection Part 2? And they include things like Power Stone 1, Power Stone 2, Plasma Sword. You get things like Rival Schools. Like, there could be so much in development already that we don't know about. But if these things sell well enough, this is how you let them know. Capcom, again, guys, because I've been seeing this all over the internet, and it's mind-boggling that people think that some companies stay the same. They see the change, or they can't see the change that's there, because they're still stuck in the past for hating what the companies used to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, Capcom has changed a lot as a company. Yes, I know there's a lot of controversy with how people are saying about what's going on with EVO and Street Fighter and brand representation, but you really got to look at what they're trying to do. We could be getting bundles for so many old Capcom IPs. We could get a Beautiful Joe bundle, okay? Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 makes a comeback. We could get Beautiful Joe 3, which I think Kamiya wants actually to do. I think he wants to work with Capcom on that. We could you imagine a Capcom horror collection? We get Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. We even throw in Survivor, right? And then throw in Dino Crisis 1 and 2. Could you imagine that? That bundle right there alone is worth $60 if you ask me. And here's one of the other big things that people have been complaining about this bundle collection for the fighting collection for Capcom. They're complaining about how there's so many Darkstalkers games on there. And I'm like, guys, listen, hold on, just relax. Look at what something like Nintendo did. What did Nintendo do? $60 for the Mario All-Stars collection, the 3D one, with Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Galaxy. $60, and they didn't do a lot with those games, if you ask me, and a lot of other people who really reviewed those games and went in depth will tell you the same damn thing. Capcom's beat 'em up bundle is like, what, $30, $40? If this thing was $50, I would still pay for it, obviously if it's worth it, but just for the games alone that are on it. So, yeah, Capcom understands it, and here's the other bundle situation. I mean, you had the Capcom 30th anniversary bundle. I know it's not the greatest, but the fact that, that was really good too. They released that. There was what was it? Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers or whatever that was for the Switch. That was really fun. And then the biggest one of all that a lot of people seem to forget was a collection. Mega Man Legacy Collection. The Mega Man X Legacy Collection. You've got the Mega Man 0 and what was it? The Mega Man XV or whatever that other one that came with the 0 one. You have that, and all of those sold pretty well, and they're pretty old Capcom titles. Granted, yes, everybody knows Mega Man and Mega Man X, but the Zero series, which, in my opinion, did get a decent amount of love back in the day on the Game Boy Advance, you got that back. So, I don't know, guys, like I said, if you really want to support Capcom, look at all the facts. If you're a naysayer too, look at all the facts and what's been happening. Look what I've said in this video, and do research with other videos that are on YouTube from other content creators. Capcom understands things a little bit better now, especially their fighting game division. They're on fire with a lot of other things they do. Yes, it would be great if we got Haunting Ground to come back. It would be great if Clock Tower 3 got remastered. It would be great if We got Code Veronica as a remake. It'd be great if we just got Code Veronica in general on a updated thing with like a horror collection, you know? Either way, you have to look at the fact that a lot of these games don't take that much to make. I mean, they do, obviously, but putting them on these collections and amplifying them and updating them, it can be done. And it can be a gateway to getting older IPs back on track. I mean, hell, we could literally get the PS2 Resident Evil collection where we could get, you know, Dead Aim. We could get Resident Evil Outbreak 1 and 2, Dino Crisis 3 for the hell of it because, you know, it's terrible, but, you know, throw it on there anyway, even though it's bad. Regardless, if you buy these games and they sell well, Capcom will realize it. They are not the same company they were a decade ago. People have to remember that people trusted Capcom, especially in the 80s and 90s. They kicked so much ass, and even in the early 2000s. And look, no one has been more critical about Capcom as a company than me, okay? I literally have shredded them time and time again because of bad business practices, being anti-consumer, and the things they've done to a lot of people when it came to franchises and games that we love to death. But now it's a whole new ball game. Things are changing, things are healing, relationships are being mended. This is the time, guys. Go out and buy this collection. If you're a naysayer, you're not 100% sure, wait for my review or anybody else on YouTube that really talks about it and really knows fighting games, okay? Don't go to big media outlets that cover all kinds of games and have people who don't really understand, you know, fighting games or even can complete them, because let's face it, we know that there's review sites out there that do that. They don't finish the games they're playing. So trust the people who really care about this stuff, but we'll tell it to you straight and won't be blinded, okay? We'll tell you if something's wrong, and we're going to tell you if something's good. So keep an eye out, or if you just want to go buy it and pre-order it now, go right ahead, because I've already done the same thing. So, that being said, please thumbs up and subscribe, because it's free, and in this day and age, it's a damn good thing. As always, everybody, thank you for watching. I'm One Big Boss, and I will see you all next time. Hey guys, thanks again for watching this video. If you can give it a share, that'd help my channel out big time. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I'm most active. Links down below in the description. Also, if you want to see me stream some video games, follow me on my Twitch channel as well. Many thanks again, guys. Greatly appreciate it.